Oh, come on.
Oh, we do?
They told you Mike was going to be here.
Hi, how are you? You missing me?
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I think there was doubt of your attendance.
No, they was thinking.
Mary,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Just for
Yeah.
how my schedule or I don't have
That's
anything.
what we're
There was a trick.
You and me both. I was away the last two.
I was supposed to be in St. Louis, instead I'm in Denver next week, which I like better.
Like Denver, but I can see them either, but I'm thinking barbecue. If I don't need to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big barbecue. It says it's much
Where? In St. Louis?
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
there's
everybody. Yeah. I mean, and I read the.
No, there's, if you go to the Solar District, there's one in there. Solar's like Hoboken.
And their big thing is, what's the ravioli, not baked.
I know.
Something else.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that's the way
It's baked,
they
they
want
get
it.
this
I've
baked
taken it to
ravioli.
today, because I tried to change it, but they did something to override it.
That's the question.
That was in a restaurant.
Yeah, so at the minute,
Every 2 seconds, you're like.
it pisses me
And,
off.
Yeah, I would imagine.
just trying to make ravioli or whatever.
Yeah, run up
No,
to the
toasted. 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 Appetizer for like 5 people. And I had like 20 of them. I'm like, without even asking me, small or large. I assumed small, and I didn't even know they were sizes.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, is to go get a cocktail
Yeah.
afterwards at that somewhere outside.
I didn't see the,
And you go gamble.
Yeah, we've been to the casinos.
I didn't get it.
Everybody.
The Ameristar.
Harris, I go to the Harris one where I was
This is too
I went to, you don't go to,
but I can see this. This is too small and I have to squint. I know, but I
The stereo.
I had to go to the real thing, so I was like, oh man, not for my money.
Alright, we're gonna get started.
I
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
didn't get the mail yet either.
Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey at 7:30 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, June 19th, 2018, in the boardroom of the Administration Building, 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of this meeting is to transact the regular business of the board and to transact any other business to come properly before the board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Thursday, June 14th, 2018, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education, located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Dana, can we have a roll call, please?
Lynn Benner.
Here.
Michael Beelan.
Here.
Ken Diamond.
Here.
Brenda Galligan.
Here.
Robert Garrison.
Here.
Gretchen Oleg.
Here.
Peggy Oster.
Here.
Charles Ostroff.
Here.
Amy Root.
Here. Lynn, could you lead us in a flag salute, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I believe Dr. Doan's going to begin our meeting tonight. Oh, no, we did a roll call.
We did.
Sorry.
My fault. I opened tonight's board meeting with the kind of news that no one ever wants to deliver or hear. One of our sophomore students, Cathoris or Carter Uziel, died on Sunday evening. Words cannot convey the grief we feel in the Westfield Public School community over his death. This loss touches us all, and we extend our condolences to the family. This afternoon, Dr. Nelson notified Westfield High School parents of this, And it's important for everyone to know that school counselors are available for all students or staff who may wish to discuss their feelings about this. Additionally, should parents wish to talk to their children at home, an article entitled "Death and Grief, Supporting Children and Youth" can be found on the district website under the Parent Resources tab. And again, our thoughts are certainly with the Ruzio family at this time. Thank you.
Yeah, on behalf of the board, I just want to echo what Dr. Dolan said, and certainly it is the least favorite thing of this board to do is to begin a meeting that way ever. But while there's much to be sad for, we also have a lot to celebrate, and this week is a week of celebration, and that's one of the reasons that you guys are here. So, not to shift focus too abruptly, but I am going to ask us to shift focus, and I'm going to go to the podium, and we have some special announcements to begin our meeting. I also just want to acknowledge, so, you know, these late season runs by all these amazing athletic teams, we had not anticipated, although we probably should have. So I want to thank you in advance for squeezing into our board space. And if you guys keep it up, we're going to have to put an addition onto Elm Street, I think, just to hold board meetings to recognize all of you. So we're going to kind of go in stages because we not only have athletic teams to recognize tonight, but we also have some student achievement in performing arts and academics, and so we're going to try and take it in chunks. We might let some people move out of the room so other people can flow in, so if you'll just bear with us, because everyone deserves all of our recognition tonight. So we're going to begin with one of my faves, Westfield High School senior Benjamin Kevelson. And Ben, if you don't mind coming up. So Ben has been awarded a National Merit University of Rochester Scholarship. As a college-sponsored merit scholarship winner, Ben is part of a distinguished group of about 7,500 high school seniors, 7,500 high school seniors to receive National Merit Scholarships this year for college undergraduate study. So Ben, we'd like to ask you to please accept this certificate of recognition from the board and our congratulations. Congratulations. I've known Ben since he's 2, so that was fun.
That's right.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, you. Next, I'd like to invite Westfield High School's freshmen Mirameda and Kaylee Zhao up to the podium, please. So as members of the Westfield debate team, Mira and Kaylee were recent quarterfinalists at the 43rd University of Pennsylvania tournament and semifinalists at the state championship of the New Jersey Speech and Debate League. And y'all are both freshmen, right? So that only forecast great things to come. So we want to congratulate you both and ask you to accept these certificates of recognition. So congratulations, Mira. So we're going to shift gears from academics to the world of music. Next up is a group of student musicians who, through sheer talent and countless hours of practice, auditioned and were selected to perform with competitive regional and state bands. When I call your name, please join me at the podium. Brooke Walden, and Daprina Wang. So Brooke was selected to the New Jersey All-State Wind Ensemble and Orchestra for a second straight year. She was the top scoring piccolo player and ranked 3rd on the flute. She performed with the Wind Ensemble in February and will join the orchestra in November. French horn player Daprina Wang also performed at the All-State Wind Ensemble in February. And both Brooke and Daprina performed with the Region 2 Band and Orchestra in January as well. So we have certificates for both of you, and then I'm going to ask you to hang out here for a minute. So Brooke, congratulations. Daprina, congratulations. picture of just them? This is all very well choreographed. So to join Brooke and Daprina, I'm going to call up other Region 2 performers. When I call your name, please come forward and get your certificate. We'll probably have to go down this way, and then we'll get a picture with everyone when you're done. Michael Charlton for Symphonic Band Timpani. Symphonic Band Alto Clarinet, Amanda Latowski. Symphonic Band French Horn, Kenneth Meyer. Symphonic Band and Orchestra, Battery Percussion, Lucy Ritter. No Lucy tonight. Symphonic Band Trumpet, Max Tennant. Symphonic Band Clarinet, Andy Jiao. And Symphonic Band Bassoon, Kaylee Zhao. And I'd also like to call up sophomore bass player Charlie Compton, who performed with the 2018 New Jersey Association for Jazz Education Jazz Combo in April. Charlie, are you here? I'd like to ask Band Director Chris Vitale to join us as well to accept a certificate for himself and fellow Band Director Trevor Sindorf, who cannot be here tonight. And if you'd like to say a few words, I'd turn the podium over to you.
Thanks. I'll be brief because I know we have a lot to get through tonight. Just want to thank the board and all the administrators here for your support of our performing arts programs. And most importantly, just kudos to these students. They put in so much work to get into these ensembles. It's so competitive, especially in this part of the state. So they deserve a big congratulations for that. Thank you.
So transitioning from music to the stage, although it's both on the stage, so to the theater, we're pleased to recognize a few of our talented performers who never fail to wow us as they take the stage. Westfield High School senior Julian Mazzola is the recipient of the Foxy Award for Outstanding Performance by a Lead Actor in a Comedy at this year's Montclair State University Theater Night Awards. Julian was chosen by judges for his portrayal of Sheridan Whiteside in Westfield High School's fall production of The Man Who Came to Dinner. Julian also was named Best Comedic Actor for his performance in a one-act play at the Bucks County Playhouse Student Theater Festival in April. Julian, if you could please join me at the podium. Hi, I have a couple of different ones for you. I'm just trying to make sure we get them all. There you are. Congratulations. Absolutely. Thank you. I always Congratulations, yeah. So drama teacher Dan Devlin couldn't be here tonight, but it's important to know also that he was awarded the prestigious Joanne Fox Award for Excellence in Commitment to Theater Education at Montclair University Theater Night Awards. And I also want to take a moment to recognize senior Morgan Eng, who received a 2018 Paper Mill Playhouse Rising Star Student Achievement Award for both pit orchestra and graphic design for Follies, the spring high school musical. Morgan, are you here? She's actually a junior, so another year to reap many more Foxy Rising Star Awards. I think we have to take a picture. Mom. Yeah, thank you. And we'd also like to recognize art teacher Roy Chambers, who was unable to join us but was a critical part of all of the theatrical performances that went on. So congratulations to all of you. I was going to say you don't have to stay, but it looks like you've already availed yourself of that option. So we're going to keep moving right along. So now we've got baseball. Is everybody in? Okay.
Go through TSA. Look at the show. Come to the front.
Another picture? Yeah, sure. With me?
We can just Photoshop you in.
You want to come up and do it real quick? What's the best picture? All right, we're going to go ahead and get started and hope everybody's here. So our student athletes work hard on and off the field. They bring commitment and dedication to their classrooms and to their teams, and I'm very pleased to welcome 3 varsity teams as state sectional champions, and we're going to begin with our varsity baseball team. So when I call your name, please come to the podium and spread out down to where Dr. Dolan is, and so that everybody can get a picture when you guys are done. And then I'm hoping that your coach will come up here and tell us a little bit about your amazing season. So Stephen Barton. Not here. All right. Matt Barmakian. Not here. Andrew Kiminiti. Benjamin Capiello. Not here. Michael Carloni. Familiar name, Michael Charlton. Jack Saria. Not here. Jack Cifelli. Jonathan D. Domenico. Not here. Thomas DeRosa. Not here. Sean Flynn. All right, I know this guy's here. Captain Corey Hiltz. Chris Ho. Not here. Tyler Hoffman. Dylan Jackson. Michael Knapp. Everybody's, oh no, finals over? No, one more, right? Jake Leary. Matt Manning. Matthew McIntyre. No. Nathaniel Reese. No, Nate Reyes. That's who that is, right? Not here. Okay. Danny Russo. Jake Valabera. Chris Wagner. right, now I'd like to ask head coach Bob Brewster and assistant coach Brian Sloan to come up and tell us a little bit about your amazing season. Mind saying a few words? That'd be great, okay.
Thank you very much for this wonderful recognition. These are young men who put up with an awful lot this year, being the fact that after halfway through our season, we'd only had 4 practices outside due to the weather. Our maintenance staff had to repair both of our batting cages because the snowstorms actually damaged them pretty severely, but they're back up and running. These are young men who we scheduled a very difficult schedule early in the year. We met the challenge head on. We became the #1 seed in the county and the state tournament. And it held up all the way through. We made it to the finals of the counties and won the sections in the state. So these kids deserve everything they get from the hard work they put in. And just got good news is Chris Wagner will be named in the paper in the next couple of days to the all-area team for the Courier News. So thank you very much. I'll go next to him. I look better next to him.
All right, you guys are good to go. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to our state sectionals championship varsity girls lacrosse team. Based on the crowd in the audience, I think we're probably going to fly through these names pretty quickly too. But we want to at least recognize those of you who have taken time out to join us tonight. So when I call your name, and if you're here, please come up to the podium so that we can present you with a certificate and get a picture. Captain Natalie Bond. No, oh, maybe that's the issue.
Yeah, here we go.
But our tennis team is here, right?
Tennis team is here.
All right, we're going to skip.
You want to tennis?
Flexible, resilient. So, our varsity boys tennis players are state sectional champions as well. Their prowess both on the court and in the classroom is impressive, but not surprising. So we'd like to ask you, when I call your name, to come up and accept this certificate of recognition. Matthew Bartok. No. Matthew Doyle. No. Captain Robbie Factor. Connor Fallon. Brad Hornbeck. Olaf Mikulek. No. Damian Ruperl. No. Jay Sharma. David Sprung. Matthew Sue. I see Jacob Tannenbaum. Please come. Sebastian Rowe. Irving Zhao. All right, Coach George Kapner, please come and tell us about the amazing season your boys had. Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for this honor. These 4 gentlemen and the 11 who, 9, sorry, former math teacher, 9 who couldn't make it. Well, I didn't have a calculator, you know. We're truly honored by everything that has happened to us and continues to tonight. I've said this many, many times. It's one of the great joys of my life to have had the opportunity to teach mathematics and coach at Westfield High School. I get chills when I think about my career, and I'm proud that it's going to continue for a little while longer. I've coached 71 varsity teams, and this particular one is honestly among my favorites because they did everything in their power every day through all of the stuff that Coach Brewster talked about. And at our banquet, we had a couple of pictures of the snow on the courts, and it was tough. But they came through with flying colors. We were recently named the third best team by the Star Ledger in the state of New Jersey. Our only loss this year, our only loss last year, not our only loss, but our loss in the States was to the team that eventually was the #1 team in the state. And both last year and this year, these boys fought tooth and nail and had a legitimate chance to win. They had to be proud of themselves when they were done. In addition to that, Damian Ruparel was named second team All-State, and Rob Factor, down at the end, and his partner, David Sprung, were named third team All-State. So give them a hand. If I had the opportunity, I would not be brief, but I have to be. So thank you very, very much. It's an honor to work here. And gentlemen, thank you for everything you did this year. Underclassmen, let's do it again.
Pictures. Oh, yeah, there they are. Thank you.
Thanks again.
All right, guys, thank you so much. All right, we're going to back up and do our girls lacrosse and recognize those of you that are here. So we know that Natalie's not here. Ellie Kate Brown, Michaela Buccio, Grace Cash, Paige Dumont, McKenna Edmondson, Carly Farella, Mia Fleming, Ashley Guigon, Lucy Gretzky, Liz Healy, Kelly Luthold, Erin McDonald, Catherine Moriarty, who's the captain, Sydney Paoletti, who's the captain, Paige Radice, Brooke Schuerman, Nicole Schuerman, Olivia Shields, Carly Swanson, Claire Yamano. Are there coaches here? No? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, kudos on a wonderful season. We will make sure that these certificates get to your coaches and to you. All right, moving on, we're going to lastly recognize 4 amazing young athletes and also thank you for your incredible patience. 2 outstanding wrestlers and 2 track field champions, all of whom put their hearts and souls into every competition. So I see not everybody's here, but so I'm just going to quickly talk about junior Erica Lawrence, who took the individual title for shot put in girls winter track and field sectionals. I don't think Erica's here. I don't see her, but we congratulate Erica and her coach, Jennifer Buccino, who were unable to join us tonight. So at this point, I'd like to ask Joe Sangiacomo to come up to the podium, please. Hi. So Joe was javelin sectional champ for the boys' spring track season. So we want to congratulate you on that great accomplishment and also ask your coach, Chris Stafelsky, and assistant coach, Sam Heyman, to join me at the podium, accept certificates, and perhaps say a few words about, Joe's great season. Mr. Stafelsky. Hi. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking the time to recognize our athletes tonight. you get outcomes which are great, but what nobody ever sees is all the hours and hours of work that go into preparing for an event like that, and not just in a single season. It's a cumulative sport. It's years and years and years of work that go into it. And Joe, in addition to his accomplishments and the marks he's earned and the championship, it's not all easy and it's not all great. Joe was unfortunately a year ago in really the unenviable position of being 7th in the sectional meet a year ago, which is really probably the most difficult position to finish because the top 6 qualify for the Group 4 state championship a year later. But he took that for what it was. He learned from the experience. You come back a year later and you're champion. That's a wonderful example for a senior and a captain and a leader to set for his teammates. We had 140 boys out for the team this year. And so coaching, it can't be all coaching. It has to be horizontal leadership from within the ranks. And, Joe is unparalleled in the way his work ethic really exemplifies what we would expect everybody to become as he matures and goes through our program. Coach Heyman could probably attest our throws crew has come a very long way, both as far as our personnel and the number of kids that we get out, and their level of preparation and the way they compete. And a lot of that is from Joe, not just setting an example of how you prepare, but also rallying guys to come out for the team. And I think the performances, the points that our throws crew in general are scoring is really a tribute to Joe's influence within the school and within our team. So, thank you very much to Coach Heyman. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I did anything other than make sure that he was eligible and medically cleared. But Coach Heyman and Coach Eric Anderson and Coach John Preston do a fantastic job with our throws group. So congratulations, Joe. Thank you. You've left our program in a better place than when you got here a few years ago. So we thank you for that, and we're looking forward to what you can accomplish in the future.
So we also want to recognize two outstanding wrestlers. I don't see sophomore wrestler CJ Composto, but CJ took home a Region 4 title in his weight class, as did his fellow sophomore wrestler Luke Horley. Luke, are you? Luke is here. Yeah, great. I'm so glad. I figured maybe that was you. Luke, congratulations. And I'd also like to invite your coach, Glenn Kurz, to the podium so he can say a word about these two fine young men.
First, I'd like to thank the board for recognizing both Luke and CJ. It's easy to coach, and it's a lot easier to be an athlete in a district where you have the support of your school board, where your board recognizes the value of athletics in going just beyond the wins and losses, but what it can do for a student athlete, and we're really fortunate. What Luke and CJ have done over the last 2 years is remarkable. We haven't had kids who have put up their numbers, their statistics in their whole careers, and what's amazing is they're both sophomores. So we have 2 more years with them. I'm really excited about that. You look at the numbers and what they've done, and that's impressive, but I get to see it on a daily basis. It's not an accident that these 2 kids have had the success they have. They're practice partners. They push each other to get better. They're great leaders, and they've done so much for our program. So I'm thankful that I get to be with them all year round, every day. And I'd just like to thank you once again. And I'm sure we'll be back here again next year.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. All right, I think that concludes. Thank you again for coming out. Thank you. And just like that, it's just us. So we will continue with any other announcements, as this is the last board meeting of our school year. I assume there are some. So Lynn, do you have any announcements to say? No? Michael?
None.
Charles? See what happens when you assume? No? Brendan? Kent? We're lopsided.
Thank you. Westfield third graders recently received top honors for 3 mock court cases they submitted last year and presented this year at the New Jersey Bar Foundation Law Fair. Out of 84 entries submitted, our third grade students, now fourth graders, in the gifted program won first place, second place, and honorable mention in the third grade category of the Law Fair competition. Congratulations to our 3 mock trial teams and to their advisor, Esther Van Ripper, gifted education teacher for students in grades 3 through 7.
Thank you. Amy?
Westfield High School juniors Julia Holosi, Matthew Leone, Jeffrey Yang, and sophomore Julia Tompkins received perfect scores of 800 on the May 2018 SAT Math Level 2 section or subject test. And sophomore Ian Gerland earned a perfect score on the May 2018 SAT Chemistry section. Congratulations to all.
Thank you. Rob? No. Peggy?
I do. I have some of the best news of the year, and some children have been waiting for it for a long time. So all students in the Westfield Public Schools will follow an early dismissal schedule on Thursday, June 21st and Friday, June 22nd. The last day for all students will be Friday, June 22nd. I believe that's 3 days away. And also, good news for the graduating class. As recently announced by Westfield High School Principal Dr. Derek Nelson, the commencement ceremony for graduating seniors has been moved to Kaler Stadium and will begin at 3 p.m. on Friday, weather permitting. In the event of inclement weather, the indoor location will be the WHS Gymnasium. And I have been watching. It looks good, knock on wood. Congratulations to all graduates.
So our next public meeting of the Westfield Board of Education is scheduled for Tuesday, August 28th, and we hope that you have a wonderful summer. Of course, as usual, the agenda for that meeting will be on the website the Friday prior. And Dr. Dolan, do you have any announcements?
I do not.
So I'd like to ask, I recognize anyone from the public for agenda items only. I'm seeing no one come to the podium. I'd ask the board to approve the minutes of our board meeting last week, June 12th, 2018, and the private minutes of the same date. Can I have a second?
Second.
Brendan, thank you. Any edits, any abstentions?
Abstention.
Charles? Everybody else good? Personnel, Peggy?
I'd like the board to consider personnel items 1 to 43. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ken, any questions? Dana?
Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Michael Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Robert Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes, I abstain from items 8 and 21.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Okay, facilities. So there's nothing to vote on tonight, but it was in the craziness of the week. I didn't get to circulate notes about the meeting that we did have last week, so I just want to sort of give a brief summary. Obviously, first of all, as evidenced by Peggy's announcement, we do not yet have a decision from the appellate division about the appellate court case, or the Kaler Field case. So, because of the timeline and we were then able to move graduation, more importantly, we don't know when we're gonna have a decision about Kaler Field. So we are continuing to, to have conversations about what it will look like, sort of what is our drop dead date. We have a contractual obligation to the winner if we win that we need to explore, and again, if we lose, then we have a second place bidder, and we may well find ourselves in another lawsuit about the validity of that bid. So everything's still very much up in the air. I'm sure that Dana and Dr. Dolan over the summer will keep us in the loop about, when we get a decision and what, if any, work's gonna be able to be done. I think at this point, we know at least we're not gonna have bleachers in time, even if work does begin on the field. So we'll let everybody know. And the other thing we talked about at the 5-year facilities plan, or at the facilities meeting, was the 5-year facilities plan. We looked at it again. Nothing significant had changed, but we just sort of had an executive summary conversation about the work that's planned for this summer and for next summer, the items that are on the 5-year facilities plan, and then we did an analysis of the money that's coming out of reserves to fund that and what we think we'll be able to put back in reserves for next year. So, Dana, anything else that we talked about at facilities? Everything, I mean, all the other projects are proceeding as planned.
Right.
and-
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Anybody else from the facilities committee? Anything I missed?
I just want to comment that we constantly revisit our 5-year facilities plan and shift things around. So it's not a one and done document. It's a living document, and we put a lot of time, well, Dana's office put a lot of time and effort into making sure that the needs of the buildings are addressed in the most critical order.
Absolutely.
It's also nice that we get to fund these projects without going to bond.
Absolutely, yeah, that was one of our conversations. I mean, one of the sort of hallmarks of the work that the board and Dana's office have done over the past 5 to 6 years in sort of saving and building up our reserves has allowed us to not only do like Kaler, straight from reserves, so that we don't have to go out to bond and ask taxpayers for additional money, but a number of other projects at the high school, and other projects on that 5-year list that we might have had to go out to bond for in previous years. So it's a real testament to the fiscal, responsibility, and it looks like, decisions have been made that will allow us to sort of continue to funnel that way. So, yeah, I think it's definitely something we should talk about and that the public should be aware of. Long-range planning. Amy?
Yes. No notes have been circulated because we just had our meeting at 6 o'clock tonight, before this meeting. But it was nice, all 4 of the board members and the central staff that were there had a good discussion. And we think we've got some ideas that we hope to get fleshed out over the summer and present to you in the fall. They center on really three specific areas, I guess. Although the first one is rather broad, but we're looking to refine it and figure out how to get our arms around it, really, is the greater theme of wellness and social and emotional learning. Fortunately, there's going to be some workshops over the summer, starting as soon as next week, that some of our central staff and administrators will be able to attend to help give us some vocabulary, help formulate some goals, and get people a chance to think how we can help our children and our staff members. Children, I mean students. So we'll be working on that and looking forward to hearing about that as we go forward. The second one has to do with the implementation of the new website and also ensuring consistency in terms of how the pages are presented to help make it easier for users to follow things, to find things when they need them. So there'll be a little bit more fleshed out about that. And then the final area is something that we've talked about for years in terms of setting up a alumni relations office or a development office, but I think it sounds like we may be looking to maybe step back and approach it a little bit differently and see how we can, rather than maybe top down, but maybe kind of grow some better contacts and use them going forward. So look forward to, I'll get my notes out from the meeting and then we'll hear a little bit more over the summer, and when we get back together in the fall, we'll have something a little bit more concrete to share.
Fantastic. Policies, Brendan.
Yeah, ask the board to approve policy item number 1.
Second.
Thank you, Ken. This is to affirm the superintendent's decision on HIV incident 18J03, 18E07, and 18E08 for the reasons set forth therein.
Lynn Venner,
Yes.
Michael Beelan.
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Robert Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff,
Yes.
Amy Ruth.
Yes.
Curriculum, instruction, and program. Mike.
Yes. We had our meeting this past Friday, the 15th, so it was very recent. And we reviewed the courses that were up for first reading today. And just a couple things I'll point out is for foreign languages, we had a good discussion on Mandarin 4 and hopefully have enough students that can go all the way through Mandarin 4. Because usually they'll start in freshman year, possibly in sophomore year. And we need to have that, try to grow that course so we get more students taking it. It really depends upon enrollment numbers. We also reviewed with the AP U.S. Government and Politics, we had 2 of the teachers there, and one of the new courses that we're looking at originally came in as a revised, but it's really a new course that we're looking at for 2019-2020, which is Power, Privilege, and Imbalance in American Society. And we're going to possibly have a presentation sometime next fall where we'll invite the instructors in. It was Anthony Farag and Ryan Daly. And what they're doing is they're trying to make this course follow our typical social studies curriculum. So it's not necessarily taking one side or the other, but it's looking at just overall American society and how things are influencing American society. And then we also finally had we also discussed for language arts, Tiffany Jacobson, the chair, had given a presentation on her new curriculum layout for grades K to 5, and how she has a week by week schedule of all the units and what we're going to discuss and how we try to answer questions, and it really provided a roadmap for the instructors to go through the program. So a lot of exciting things going on in curriculum over the next couple of years. So I just want to put up for approval both the courses I just discussed, and for second reading the Geometry Advanced, and Geometry Honors, as well as Elementary Science. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kent?
Before we vote, Paul, can I put you on the spot for a second? So, yeah, it probably makes sense for you to come up.
I need words. So.
Yeah. When at curriculum, and granted, I was sort of in and out of that meeting, but we had talked about having Andrea, or perhaps sort of a broader presentation about sort of the social studies curriculum and changes that have been made to sort of reflect, cultural changes happening in our world. Does it make sense to do the power, privilege, and imbalance in American society for first reading tonight? Or should we just table that and do it so that the board can ask questions? What are your thoughts?
Oh, okay, we're actually going to be working on it next year as far as planning it, so it would be 2019-20 that we would, we would offer it.
Right, it's not for the 18-19
Correct.
Class year, so there's
Right.
no time sensitivity to putting it off.
Right.
But, I just want to make sure that the board, since it's sort of it is a new course, I think it will have a pretty wide-ranging impact.
Yeah.
That they have an opportunity to ask questions.
Yeah, and the reason why this one might stand out a little bit more when we mention it here at the table is because, the title of it alone is provocative, but it's an important subject. So, power, privilege, and imbalance is an exploration of American history, I guess through the filter of social science, and the goal of the course is to look at it through a critical lens. So, critical theory is actually what Anthony would refer to it as pretty regularly. So we've taken our responsibility to present social studies in a way that is apolitical. And we have really good people involved in aligning this to standards so that it is based and embedded in the teaching of social studies and history, and we avoid any kind of agenda that could come through. I mean, there's potential for that. I did mention to you, and I think I'd say it again, that it's one of the most provocative, exciting courses that I've seen in a long time, and I think it's really important for students to be able to have the tools to have these kinds of conversations, because clearly we don't have those tools right now in America. So I think this is a really important course, but I also think we have to do significant due diligence to make sure that the outcome is what we hope it to be, which is not political.
Right. Right, so should we table it and then have a presentation at first reading?
Oh, I'm sorry, did I go through all that and not?
That's quite, no, it's great, I mean, it's.
I was, because what, are we putting up for first reading? I thought we
It's on
were.
the agenda for first reading, when I thought the conversation at curriculum was that we'd have a full presentation, a fuller presentation to the board.
Right, I wouldn't have it up for first reading tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I would make a motion that we table power, privilege, and imbalance, the first reading of power, privilege, and imbalance in American society. And well, can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And I would just say that my motion as a member of the curriculum committee is not because I have any hesitation that it is a sound course and that it's aligned to standards and that it's a fantastic addition to the curriculum. It's just that I want the full board to have the opportunity to really review that and then have a conversation.
I'm just laughing because it was a yes or no question.
Okay.
And I came to the podium, but anyway.
So, Robert's rules, somebody help me. We vote on the tabling and then we vote on everything else. So any other conversation about tabling that?
It wasn't even included in the attachment on the agenda, that course. It was
Okay.
just listed on the agenda.
Even more so then.
Okay, well then, all the better.
Reason to table it. So Dana, can we vote on that?
Yeah. Lynn Benner,
Yes.
Michael Beelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Robert Garrison.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Okay, now I think we're ready for everything else. Thank you.
Ready for the vote?
Yeah.
Let's vote on everything
Lynn
but.
Benner,
Yes.
All right.
Michael Beelan.
Yes.
Ken Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Robert Garrison.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes. Check us out. That was good. All right. Finance. Charles.
Okay, I'd like to present to the board for approval items listed number 1 to 34.
Second.
Okay, and before I put it to a vote, I just wanted to point out 2 items. That would be number 32, which, to accept a gift of $13,455.80 from the Westfield High School PTSO for painting and wood refinishing of the auditorium. So very much would like to thank the high school PTSO for that. Then also, item number 34 would be to accept a gift of $5,000 from the Albert Anthony Kale Foundation for a guest speaker at the Westfield High School. So again, just outside groups would like to thank them for their involvement as well as, supporting our schools. Okay, we ready for a vote?
Lynn Benner.
Yes.
Michael Beelan.
Yes.
Kent Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Robert Garrison.
Yes.
Gretchen Olig.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Thank you. Technology. Peggy.
No report at this time.
No report. So I would ask the board to note the notes for the record.
Can I
Yes.
just make one comment? I know we haven't met this part of the school year for next year legislation, but I just did want to report that today, and this is where Dr. Dolan and Dana, for those of you who don't think that they work during the summer, will be very busy during the summer. Today, both the Senate and Assembly Budget Committees met today to amend their funding formula for school aid, which is slightly different than the governor's proposal. It's about $60 million more in aid from adjustment, and districts that increased state aid by about $65 million, in addition to the governor's recommendation of $283 million. But as a lot of folks are reporting, that even though the budget deadline is looming, we might go beyond the budget deadline again this year. A lot of that is centered around this year, the state aid formula, school aid formula rather. So to be continued, but I did want to report that committees did amend the school aid formula today, and it will be presented to the governor.
Okay. Thank you. So we don't know yet what that means for us.
No.
Okay.
Nor do we know when we will know.
Right, understood. Under unfinished business, I would just, I have a piece of unfinished business to bring before the board. So our bylaws require us to, at our reorganization meeting, which was June 12th, last Tuesday, to appoint an auditor for the year. So we did not do that, in part because a subcommittee of the Finance Committee, which was Rob and Brendan and I, it's really a subcommittee of the board, along with Dana and Dr. Dolan, interviewed auditors who responded to the request for proposal that the board put out earlier this year. As some of you may remember, those of you who are new, we are trying to make a concerted effort to sort of revisit all of our professional service providers on a regular basis. And so we this year it was the auditors, or this part of the year, we interviewed 3. We're just not ready to make a recommendation at this time. I feel like we have good choices. We just need a little bit more time to collect information. So I would like to make a motion that the board suspend its rule, or alter, I don't even know what the technical term would be, but that we delay our vote on the auditors, which is required to have been made under our bylaws, until our August meeting. Yeah, to suspend the bylaw requirement until our August meeting. Then at that point, I think that the subcommittee will be in a position to make a full recommendation to the board. So if I could have a second for that. Brendan, thank you. Anything,
Yeah.
Rob or Brendan, that you would say?
We had 3 fantastic firms came, and that only made our decision harder. We're really picking between 3 very good firms, including our current auditor, and now we want to make the best decision for the district.
Yeah, and I should note that, so the appointment of this auditor, it will be the auditor who audits the books from 2018, 2019. So our current auditor will do the audit for 2017-18. So the work actually doesn't get done until much later in the 2018 year. So delaying the vote isn't going to impact that at all.
Yeah, the auditing firm will, whoever we select, formally will start their work probably next June, about a year from now.
Right.
And just to clarify, these are the people, we've seen things in the agendas before where we say we don't go out to bid because they are certified professionals.
Correct.
And so now we're just doing an extra review, an extra layer of due diligence to make sure that we're choosing the right people. for the
Correct.
district.
Sort of a checks and balances of ourselves and make sure
Perfect.
we're being responsible.
Sure, good. Just to clarify.
Just to make sure we know what we don't got.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we should have a roll call
Yes.
vote on that.
Lynn Benner?
Yes.
Michael Beelan?
Yes.
Ken Diamond?
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher?
Yes.
Robert Garrison?
Yes.
Gretchen Ulig?
Yes.
Peggy Astor?
Yes.
Charles Ostroff?
Yes.
Amy Root?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any other unfinished business? Any new business? Liaison reports? Anyone from the public have questions or comments? Hi.
Hi.
If you wouldn't mind stating your name and address.
Sure, I'm sure you don't remember. I'm Susan Bachtorf. I live at 514 Grove Street. I've been coming to the meetings a little bit more this year for a number of reasons, I guess. Primarily, though, because I live, my backyard abuts Kaler Field and the auditorium. And I can't let go a comment that I heard a few meetings ago that was, it kind of felt like it was just a tossed in, oh, by the way, no lights, but with no explanation. And I really partly have come to see if I'm hearing anything at all related to the plans for the field that might include in some way lights at some point, but I haven't heard anything. So I guess because I'm a neighbor and because I represent another group of neighbors, really, they didn't ask me to come, they don't know I'm here tonight, but they're all concerned too. And I guess a comment that was made in relationship to the funding from the state, we don't know what that will mean for us. So the neighborhood feels that we don't know what the renovation of Kaler Field will mean for us. And I know that at various times in the community, at least, the idea of lights comes up. And the idea of, we can raise a lot of money and, man, we can get lights. So, I guess I'm just here to register a concern, and that when we hear nothing or no explanation about comments, where the comments come from, at least it has bothered me.
Understood. So, I would say that I've seen you at our meetings, and I've wondered if you were worried that we were gonna try and sneak something in.
Well, yeah, I am,
And I can tell
actually.
you,
That
right,
is
and
one of the things I'm worried
I
about.
feel badly about that, because I don't think that this board has ever not been transparent about the work that it's doing at Kaler Field, although I appreciate that the lights are a particularly sensitive issue. So we did a number of presentations on the project, and whatever was presented in those presentations still stands today, and that's what went out to bid, and that did not include lights.
And I think we feel pretty confident about at least the plan.
As to the comments that you, every once in a while I'll chime in if I see a Kaler neighbor sitting there and Kaler Field comes up. I just want to make it clear that we're still not talking about adding lights. So by the way, there's no lights is just another reminder of the
So my
presentation.
interpretation was a little too paranoid.
No, I think you have every right though to ask a question. I mean, it's a direct question of what is the plan, because it does, at the end of the day, as you pointed out, impact you.
Yeah, and I realize in really thinking about how the board operates, that when you vote on things, at least the way it appears to me, that when you vote on things, the decision has already been made. So that when you ask then for the community to come and comment, if we really are not, we don't have any impact or anything to add, because your decision has already been made.
I appreciate that it looks like that, and I think that that's because of the nature of the way that our board is that a lot of our work is done at the committee level.
Right. No, I understand.
But I would also say that, in fact, I mean, when we, for instance, with specific respect to Kaler, when we were considering the program for temporary lights, there was a large involvement by neighbors of yours. They came to our committee meetings, and so there is opportunity, certainly for comment, and that's why all of the major work that we do also goes on for second reading, because we do like to give the public an opportunity. We actually sort of crave it and would like it if we had more public comment, either about policies or curriculums or things like that, but I appreciate it. We do often go around the table and it's yes, 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 yes.
But we also publish, I mean, we put out there what the plans are, and we do look for comment. I mean, we mentioned on more than one occasion, I'm happy you're here, because we would like, if I want to say at meetings, more input. And if someone does have a point that maybe we didn't contemplate, maybe we didn't see, maybe we didn't think of, we have in the past tabled things, we have
Right.
brought it back for
I
discussion.
think what's happened in the past, at least in my evaluation of it, is that people come when it feels like there's something
Yeah.
big
There's a
and
direct concern to
critical.
them.
Right.
And
Exactly.
then sometimes the rhetoric gets a little heated, and
Social media.
but I don't know. I've even been confused, because there's 2 points where you ask for a comment from the public, and so when's the right point
Yeah.
to say anything?
But the fact that lights aren't being included with the renovation of Kaler is due in no small part to the activism in the neighborhood opposing it. So your efforts didn't go unnoticed.
Right, so at least you're taking us into consideration.
Absolutely.
Always,
Yeah.
always.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time.
You have a big job to do, so.
Thanks for coming. Thank you. Our most dedicated member of the public is here.
Yes. Okay, so I think that that's the end of our public agenda, so I'd ask the board to approve the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law and harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents. And be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussions will be made public as soon as practicable. Can I have a second? Amy, thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned to private session. Have a good summer, everyone.